salve, hola, bonjour, ni hao, konnichiwa, guten tag, annyeonghaseyo, shalom, jumbo, and hello. You might be wondering, what does she have up her sleeve? What is this week's theme for music? Well, take a look behind me. You see flags from all around the world. That's right. We are studying music from all around the world today. So get ready, get your passports ready as we take a trip around the world, taking a look at music from other countries. All right, we're going to start our trip around the world, halfway around the world, in the East Asian country of Japan. So Japan is an island country that's located in the Northwest Pacific Ocean. Traditional Japanese music is split up into two forms. There's the shamaya, or Buddhist chanting, and there's the gagaku, which is theatrical court music. Some instruments you might hear in traditional Japanese music are the samisen, the shakuhachi, and the koto. The samisen looks similar to a guitar. It has 3 strings, and it's played with a triangular pick. The shakuhachi is a similar instrument to the flute. It has 5 holes, and you play by blowing into one end. The koto was actually invented thousands of years ago in China. And then Japan came up with a 13-string version of the instrument, and it's played by using picks worn on the fingers. So right now we are going to listen to a professional koto player playing the song Sakura. All right, it is now time to board the plane and head to our next destination, which is France. So France is home to the famous city of Paris, and it's a country in Western Europe. So the music of France has a broad range of different styles and genres, such as nouvelle chanson and electronic music. French music went through different classical music periods, including medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, and opera. Folk French music is still popular in the remote areas, such as the island of Corsica and the Auvergne mountain villages. So a few of the traditional French instruments are the flutina. So the earliest version of the flutina was known as the clavier mélodique, also known as the melodious keyboard. It was possibly the first accordion able to play a melody. The first flutina factory was located in Paris, France. There's also the bugle. So the bugle is popular for military uses. It's one of the more simple brass instruments with no altering devices. In other words, there's no buttons to push down. The first bugles were developed out of animal horns. There's also a fun little instrument called the hurdy-gurdy. The hurdy-gurdy is a European folk instrument that produces sound by cranking a wheel that rubs against strings. There is a keyboard that changes the pitch of the strings when pressed on. There's an annual festival in central France that began in 1976 where folk players play the hurdy-gurdy. And right now we are going to watch an example of somebody playing the hurdy-gurdy.
Ghana, or the Republic of Ghana, is a country in West Africa. The traditional music of Ghana can be split up by location. The music of the northern area of Ghana features a combination of string and wind instruments, along with rhythms that were clapped or played on gourd drums or brakit drums. Traditional music along the coast, so the southern part of Ghana, is associated with social functions, so things like parties or religious ceremonies. Traditional instruments include drums, bells, and harmonized songs, so people that were singing. Some instruments you might hear in traditional Ghanaian music are the kologo lute, which is kind of like a guitar, and it's possibly even an ancestor of the banjo, or something like the talking drum, which is a really cool instrument. It's an hourglass-shaped drum that can mimic the tone of human speech, and you change the pitch of it by squeezing the strings along the side of the drum. Right now, we're going to watch a quick demonstration of how the talking drum works. All right, we are moving right along now to South America. We're going to the country of Brazil, which is home of the Amazon rainforest. Natives of the Brazilian rainforest played instruments including whistles, flutes, horns, drums, and rattles. Interestingly enough, much of Brazil's folk music imitates sounds you would hear in the Amazon rainforest, which makes sense, right? Eventually, Brazilian music changed when people from Europe, Portugal, and Africa arrived, so they totally changed the Brazilian culture at that point. One of the most popular types of music to come from Brazil is something called bossa nova music, which became popular in the 1950s. Bossa nova is a combination of samba and jazz, and it uses the following types of instruments. It typically uses a classical guitar, which is played with the fingers, so in other words, the guitar players don't use picks in bossa nova. A surdo, which is a large bass drum, and an instrument called the cabasa, which is a percussion instrument that you may have even used in your music class. I know I have one in mine. Right now we're going to watch a short example of a bossa nova performance from 1966. All right. Hello again, students. Hopefully you were able to learn a few things about different instruments and different music from around the world. Now it is time to test your knowledge. Are you ready? So you are going to need probably a pencil and a pad of paper. All right, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to play a quick sample of an instrument. All right, and it could be any of the instruments that we have talked about. So I'm going to show you right now. We have talked about, let's see, from Japan, we talked about the samisen, the shakuhachi, and the koto. Let's see, what from Japan we went to, I believe we went to France. In France, we talked about the flutina, that's that accordion sounding instrument. The bugle, which is like a trumpet, sounds like a trumpet, looks like a trumpet, but doesn't have the buttons like a trumpet. And then the hurdy-gurdy, which is that fun instrument that you crank. We saw a video of someone playing that, right? From France, we moved to Ghana. In Ghana, we talked about the talking drum, which was super cool. We saw that guy playing that talking drum. And the kologo, which is like a lute, which is kind of like a guitar instrument. From Ghana, we ended our trip in Brazil, I believe. I might have gotten the order mixed up, but in Brazil, we talked about the classical guitar, which we should know what a guitar sounds like, maybe. Yeah. And then a surdo, which is basically a drum, a bass drum, and the cabasa, which is that fun instrument that you have to twist in your hand, and it has that sound, right? So those were the instruments that we talked about. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play you a quick sample, and then I'm gonna give you about 10 seconds after the clip to try to come up with two things: the instrument that was played, and you don't have to spell it correctly, all right? So the instrument that's played and the country that it came from, all right? So if you can give me the name of the instrument, then you give yourself 2 points. If you can also name the name of the country that it came from, you give yourself an extra 2 points. So you'd end up with 4 points. If you can only give me one of those two things, like you can maybe say the instrument name, but not the country, then that's fine. You still get 2 points. Or if you can give me the name of the country, but not the instrument name, then that's okay. You still get 2 points. All right. So hopefully we're clear on how this works. We're going to get started. Here is our first listening sample. Let's go ahead and give it a listen. Stop there. I'm going to give you guys about 10 seconds to see if you can figure out what the name of the instrument is and the country it came from. All right, that first instrument was the cabasa from Brazil. If you got the name of the instrument, so the cabasa, you got 2 points. If you could say the name of the country, you got 2 points. So if you got it right, you got 4 points. If you were just able to say, I know that instrument came from Brazil, but I don't remember the name of it, you get 2 points. All right, so moving on. Here's our listening sample number 2, numero dos. Here we go. All right, we'll stop it. 10 seconds to figure out what instrument that was. That was the koto from Japan. That was the one where we saw the video of the lady playing sakura, and she was plucking it with her fingers, right? Okay, listening sample number 3. Here we go. All right, let's stop it there. 10 seconds to figure out what that was. That was the flutina from France. Remember, that's that instrument. It sounds almost exactly like an accordion. Okay, it is in a way a type of accordion. So that was the flutina. All right, we're moving right along to number 4. Here we go. We're gonna listen. All right, we'll stop there. This one we should Well, we watched a video of someone playing this. That's the only hint you're getting. 10 seconds to figure out what it is. If you were thinking that was the talking drum from Ghana, you are correct. The talking drum from Ghana. That was that cool one that you kind of squeeze with your hands to make it make different sounds. Such a cool instrument. Okay, moving right along. Number 5. Here we go. Let's give it a listen. All right. It's a hard one. 10 seconds to see if you could just figure out what that instrument was. If you were thinking the hurdy-gurdy from France, that's right, you are correct. That was that instrument that you cranked. We saw someone playing the hurdy-gurdy, right? Kind of a cool instrument, really interesting sounding. Okay, moving on to number 6, and I'll just give you a hint, you guys. This one's pretty easy. Don't overthink this one. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a listen. All right, 10 seconds to see if you can figure that one out. Here we go. All right, if you were thinking that was the classical guitar, ding, 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 from Brazil. Now, before I might get some questions saying, well, the guitar is everywhere. Yes, you're absolutely right. The reason I included the classical guitar was because that the classical guitar was really prevalent or really used a lot in bossa nova music, which was from Brazil, right? So that was the classical guitar from Brazil. All right, number 7. Here we go. Listen carefully to this one. Let's give it a listen. All right, we'll stop there. This one's kind of a tough one. 10 seconds starting now. All right, if you were thinking that that was the shakuhachi from Japan, nice job. That one was a hard one. The shakuhachi, that's that one that looks like a flute, kind of. It's played like a flute, right? So that was the shakuhachi from Japan. Last one. Here we go. Let's make it count. Let's give it a listen. Number 8. Here we go. Okay, let's stop there. 10 seconds to see if you can figure out what that instrument was. All right, if you were thinking that was the surdo from Brazil, nicely done. Yeah, that one was a little tough, but the only other drum we had as an option was the talking drum, which had a really, really distinct sound, remember? That's the one where you can change the pitch, it can go high and it can go low. The surdo drum, you can't really change the pitch of, it's just always the same. So the last one was surdo drum. Go ahead, tally up your points, all right? See how many you got. And that's the end of the game. I hope you did really well. And if not, you can always go back and rewind and redo the test and see how well you do next time. All right, nice job, students. All right, we are going to be making an instrument today, and I'm not going to tell you just yet what that instrument is. But here are the different supplies that you're going to be needing. You are going to need about 6 to 7 long pieces of yarn. Mine are about 1.5 to 2 feet long. some dried beans or rice, some sort of cardboard tube. Now, let me tell you, if you are going to be using a paper towel tube, you know, those cardboard tubes that paper towels come on, your supplies are going to be a little bit different. But if you have like a hard cardboard tube that, for example, you would find in aluminum foil, holding aluminum foil together, those cardboard tubes, that would work. You need duct tape, and you need small nails, about 20 of them, and a hammer. Now, those hammer and nails are going to be used with an adult's help, hopefully, so don't try to do that on your own. However, if you're going back to the paper towel tube, if you're using a paper towel tube, then you're not going to be using a hammer and nails. You're going to need some aluminum foil instead. All right, so if you're using a paper towel roll or something thin like a paper towel roll, then you're going to use aluminum foil instead of a hammer and nails. Otherwise, you are good to go. Go gather your supplies. Meet me back here in just a moment. Hello, students. Now, I bet you are wondering, what on earth is she going to have us make right now? Well, good question. We are going to be making a rain stick. Now, a rain stick looks like this. You might have played one before in your music classroom. I believe I do have one in my music classroom. So we are going to make like an actual real rain stick. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's not like the coolest instrument. It's just like a tube filled with beans. There's actually more to it than that. Okay, so let me give you a little history about the rain stick, because there is a reason we're doing it while we're studying world music. The rain stick is a long hollow tube filled with pebbles or beans. There are also small pins that are going throughout the tube to kind of help catch the beans. It makes a specific sound when you have those pins going throughout the tube, okay? It was thought to have been invented by the Mapuche people who live in Chile and Argentina, which are countries in South America. So we talked a little bit about Brazil, which is a country in South America, but we didn't really talk about Chile and Argentina. So you are making a worldly instrument, an instrument from another country. So let me show you what I have. And I'm going to try my best to show you what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So this is actually a mailing tube. I got it at the UPS store. If you have a like a paper towel tube or even a toilet paper roll would work. However, those aren't as thick. See how thick this cardboard is? I don't know if you can really tell, but it's thick cardboard. It's not like thin. So if you have a thinner cardboard tube, we can still totally use that. But you're not going to be using nails and a hammer. You're going to be doing something different. So let me explain to you how I'm making mine with a thick cardboard. And then at the end of this, I'll explain how you can do it if you have a thinner cardboard tube, okay? So I have my cardboard tube. Now, I don't know if you can see these. I drew little black dots with a marker, okay? And the reason I did that is because that's where I'm going to be putting my nails. An easy way to do this is so let me show you. I started by drawing one dot right there, and then I turned my tube about a quarter turn, okay, and then drew another one. And then I turned it again and drew another one. So all in all, so there's 4 dots there. And then if I turn it, see how they're kind of alternating? 5 dots there, 4 dots, 5 dots there. So I just have kind of spread out all over the place. I have, I think I counted 19 dots. So if you want to do it my way and draw the dots first, I like to be prepared, which is why I did it. Go ahead and take a moment and draw your dots on your tube. You just want them spread out. Just spread out so they're not like really super close together, okay? Now here comes the fun part. Please, 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 please get an adult to help you with this, because like I said, if you got the sturdy cardboard, you're going to be using nails and a hammer. Have an adult help you with this, okay? Because it's not worth getting hurt over. And I don't have a camera to show you what I'm doing, but I'm taking a nail. So now the important thing about picking out the nail that you're using is it needs to be shorter shorter than the tube, because what's going to be happening is I'm going to be hammering, oh, let me show you so you can actually see. I'm going to be hammering these inside the tube. Okay, and I think I hammered one in already. Yeah. So I hammered one already inside the tube. But do you see how the nail doesn't go all the way to the other side of the tube? Let me see. Right? It doesn't go all the way through, because obviously you don't want the nail to go all the way through and then poke you on the other side, right? So it needs to be shorter than the opening of the tube. All right. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to hammer wherever I put a black dot. I'm going to hammer in a nail all the way into the tube. Now I'm going to be fast forwarding through this part so that you don't have to sit and watch me hammer for about 20 minutes. Okay, so got them all hammered in. Looks kind of scary inside, that's for sure. Just do one last check. You kind of want there to be, you kind of want the nails to be spread out throughout the rain stick. And you know what? While I'm looking through it right now, I'm seeing a few spots that could use just a few more nails. So I'm going to hammer in. Please, 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 kiddos, make sure that you have an adult help you with this, because it's kind of a tricky one. And if you have the, like I said, if you have the thinner cardboard, then you don't have to worry about the nails at all. We'll do something different for you guys. So I'm just going to nail in a few more, because you want the beans to kind of catch on the way down. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better. So now you have your nails in, just like that. Now you need to grab your tape. I got some colorful tape just because I'm actually going to be decorating my rain stick with this tape as well. So any tape would work. I'm using duct tape. You can use packaging tape, probably not Scotch tape. That's that thinner tape. That probably won't hold as well. So cover up one end. I forgot to grab scissors. So you just want to cover up one end of your rain stick, because we are going to be filling it in just a moment. Hang on just a second. I am going to go grab some scissors. That's going to make my life a lot easier. So I'll be back in just a moment. I'll fix this in editing. Okay, back now with my scissors. So it's going to make my life a lot easier. Still working on covering up one end of my rain stick. Yeah, you need a heavy duty tape for sure, because you don't want your beans escaping. Because then that wouldn't work now, would it? Okay, so not the prettiest tape job, but you know what? We'll fix it once we decorate the rain stick. Okay, so I have one end open and one end taped off. All right, so now I have my beans right here. Like I said earlier, rice would work fine as well. So I'm gonna pour in a little bit. I probably poured in about half a cup of beans, okay? You don't need all of these, because then there's too many beans in there, it won't sound as cool. So let me show you what it sounds like. Kind of sounds like rain, right? And those nails are playing an important role. It wouldn't sound as cool if you didn't have the nails sticking. Okay, so Put my beans in. Now I can cover up the other end. So remember, about half a cup of beans. You don't want to go too crazy on the beans. I'm going to cover up my other end. All right. So both ends are nice and covered, right? Now, now comes the fun part. You can use markers. You can use duct tape like I'm doing. This is just like a fun colored one with a print on it. And you can decorate your rain stick. And the reason why I had you grab some yarn is because at the very end, whoops, once my rain stick's all decorated, you can tie your yarn around just like this. Tie it probably in a knot. I'm not going to tie it in a knot because I still have to decorate it. But then it looks like an actual rain stick with your little yarn hanging down off the side. Okay, so I'm going to decorate my rain stick, and I will show you what it looks like at the end. All right, so let me explain now. For those of you that were using a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll, instead of putting in nails, what you're going to do is you're going to get a sheet of aluminum foil, and you're going to crinkle it up so that it's kind of like a stick, and you're going to put that aluminum foil into the tube. All right, so that's going to take place of the nails. You don't need the hammer and the nails if you have the paper towel tube. Just because that, like I said, the cardboard's too thin on a paper towel roll, so you can't really hammer in nails. So, but you get the same effect. The same thing happens if you just crinkle up some aluminum foil like a stick and put it inside of the tube and then close off your ends. All right. So I'm going to decorate my my rain stick, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right. All right. So I am back with my rain stick. It is covered in colorful duct tape. It has its little yarn tassel here at the end. See that? So I tip it. I found out that if you tip it, you have to kind of tip it slowly if you want that rain effect. But it sounds really cool. Also, it's kind of a nice way to just like relax and kind of, relieve some stress. Just hear your rain stick. All right. So, so students that have me as a music teacher, you'll probably be seeing this next year. I'll be using it in my classroom. I hope you had fun making your rain stick. I hope you learned a little something new about music from around the world. Here is my assignment. Normally I attach it like as a picture at the end, but I'm just going to tell you what the assignment is this week. My assignment for you is pretty simple. Ready? I want you to play with your rain stick, and I would like you to try to find one song that you like that's in another language. Okay, maybe it's in Spanish, maybe it's in French, maybe it's in Italian, any song that is in another language, and I would like you to email me that song. Maybe we can make like our own little summer school playlist of songs from around the world, okay? So I would like you to email me that song, all right? And I will actually, what I'll do is I will give my email address to your summer school teachers so that they can give it to you to email me your song. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you had a fun time, and see you later.